I asked you yesterday whether you wanted to see the second leg of the Champions League semi-final and the potential Invincibles clinching game, or if you wanted to see the FA Cup final and fingers crossed Champions League final. As usual, it was pretty much split down the middle, so I guess I was left with no alternative. Double upload day! Coming up right now, we've got the Champions League semi-final and the last game of the league season. And then at 9 o'clock tonight, fingers crossed, it's going to be a bit of an anticlimax if we get knocked out. If we're knocked out of the Champions League, it's not a double upload. We'll just stick the FA Cup on the back of this one. I've got my suit is here ready to put on if I need to on emergency notice. So, yay! Hello and welcome to Season 22, Episode 13 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we've at least got the away leg of the Champions League semi-final against Chelsea. We're 5-0 up from the first leg. We should be fine. We're then going to skip ahead a little bit and show the last game of the league season at home against Bournemouth. We have not lost in... well, it's like 45 league games now, but we haven't lost at all this season. Fingers crossed we can keep going through these last 3 league games and secure an Invincibles label. We'd like very much an Invincibles label. We beat West Brom 3-0 since you were last with me. So, this is the team that we're putting out there for the second leg of the Champions League semi-final. We're going defensive and structured. I'm determined not to mess this up somehow. So we're just going to sit and park the bus at Chelsea. Why not? They've done it to us enough times. So we're going to have Igor in goal, a back four of Ribeiro, Plotnikov, Aribi and Ndai, Fiorentini, Wagner and Ziyech in midfield with Oscar in behind Wells and Iribarren. As it stands at the moment, Wells and Iribarren both have 37 goals each in all competitions, although Wells is on a much better goals per game ratio. So they're now in a little private battle to see who is the real hero of Tottenham and who can end up as our top scorer in what will undoubtedly be the finest season in the history of this football club. If nothing else, it's the finest 12 months in the history of this football club, because in the last 12 months, we've won everything. Obviously, if we miss out on the 2 trophies coming up, then that puts a slight dampener on it. But in the last 12 months, we've won everything. So, Sebman's not playing because he doesn't really play anymore. The one issue with going here and doing defensive and structured is that we haven't lost a game in any competition for 14 months now. And I don't know what it will do to morale if we come here, stick loads of men behind the ball and lose 3-0. Yes, we still make it into the Champions League final, but losing our first game in 14 months could just knock the stuffing out of us. We might have just been going all this way on momentum and it could all go desperately wrong. I mean, we've conceded an own goal from Aribi 17 minutes in, and straight away my fears are starting to present themselves. I mean, imagine, oh God, 24 minutes in and we're 2-0 down. We're not used to this at all. We have not been 2-0 down in a football match for like 2 years. Have we even got it in us anymore to respond to this kind of situation? Or, I mean, what do we do? Do we carry on staying defensive and structured? Or is that just not working? Do we need to go back to our normal swagger and just come at them and go and score 5 if they score 5 and then it doesn't really matter? They're coming out. If they score a third here, we've got to come off defensive. We can't go 3-0 down before half time and continue to just defend, because we've been in situations before like this and tactical mistakes have caused massive issues, and that's not going to happen now. We're gonna secure this. We're going to secure our passage through to the Champions League final. I mean, to be fair, 2-0 down, I'm not worried. If the third goes in, we start attacking. And I know that seems really counterintuitive, but welcome to Kev Does Tactics, and that's how we're going to do things. We'll defend as long as we're only losing a little bit, because losing a little bit's okay. Wells and Iribarren, I'm talking about them having a private battle between the two of them. Neither of them have turned up at all today, which is a bit of a worry. I mean, Chelsea have been clinical. They've only had 3 shots on target and have scored 2 goals, so it's not as if they're all over us. and at risk of knocking us out, I don't think. Liam Wells very close to pulling one back for us there. And if we do grab an away goal, and Ziyech does exactly that, and surely that's that now. We don't need to worry anymore. We've got an incredibly important away goal. We restore a 4-goal lead on aggregate with an away goal. And Chelsea only have 28 minutes to get back into this. And the last 6 months of this season have been the story of deflections. And we pick up another deflection when it really, really counts. And for the first time in a long, long time, we've got a team actually attacking us. Chelsea have gone to a 4-2-3-1. They're trying to come at us a little bit here. We're going to stay on defensive and hopefully just catch them on the break a couple of times. We'll take off Plotnikov and bring off Ericsson. And we're going to take off Liam Wells and bring on Michael Vendrig and get the Holy Trinity together up front for the last 20 minutes of this game. I really want to grab an equaliser because I do worry about what this first defeat might mean psychologically. I know we're through to the final now, all but guaranteed. Let's bring on James Burgess as well. He hasn't played up front for like 2 years. He must have forgotten how to do it by now. But yeah, an equaliser now, please. Ziyech again, hovering. Vendrig to Oscar. Burgess. Fiorentini hits the post. Come on, lads. We've got 8 minutes to grab an equaliser. I know we're sat there on defensive, but that... Ericsson... Right, hold on. We're not going to concede 4 goals in these last few minutes. So we're going to go to control and flexible. It's our default way of playing. Chelsea shouldn't be expecting it. And we'll just go and try and grab that equaliser because... we don't want to lose a match. I know we've won on aggregate, but we don't want to lose a match at all. So I might have left this a little bit too late, but fingers crossed we've got an equaliser in us that we can just go out there. Ziyech with the free kick. I mean, it should have been that. It felt like it was going to be that. I think we've lost the match, but absolutely destroyed them over the course of the tie. And I hope that doesn't cause us psychological problems going in to the rest of this run-in. There's no... brave Tottenham finally lose or anything like that, so hopefully we'll be okay. And now we're going to skip ahead a couple of games to Bournemouth. I mean, if we now lose against Newcastle and Liverpool, it really takes a shiner for showing this Bournemouth game. To be fair, if that happens, we're probably just going to go straight into the finals. And we'll figure something out about this whole double upload I may have promised. So, what game's coming next? And it's Bournemouth. Invincibility is still on. I hate that red blotch on there from the Champions League game. It really spoils an otherwise completely perfect season. But we are 1 win away from an invincible season. If we have a little look at the Premier League table before we get started, just to see what not the season preview, the stages, that's what we want to look at. So as of right now, we're already smashing records even if we lose today. We've equalled the record for most wins in a season. We've also equalled the record for most consecutive wins at 15. So a win today breaks those 2 records. We've broken the record for most points in a season, which was previously 99. And I think we'll have a proper look at the records after the match. But the important thing is we've already got 100 points, 100 goals, 1 game away from invincibility and from a record wins and consecutive wins total. This is the best team of all time. I've officially decided, unless we lose right now, in which case those pesky upstarts from down the road will probably have something to say about that. So this is the team that we're taking to the final day of the season to try and secure invincibility. Who on earth wants Ruben Iribarren? Get lost, Barcelona, unless I end up managing you, in which case sign him before I arrive, because that would be awesome to have him already there. So, in goal, we've got Igor, a back 4 of Ribeiro, Ericsson, Uribe, and Ndiaye, midfield of Fiorentini, Burgess, and Ziyech, with Oscar in behind Iribarren and Wells. Iribarren has pulled ahead of Wells slightly in the top goal scorer competition. He's now 2 goals ahead of him, but of course we all know Liam Wells is going to get a hat-trick in the Champions League final, so we have to weigh that into things as well. And also, encouragingly, after me basically doing his obituary a couple of episodes ago, Christian Sedman has recovered-ish from his injury and is back in the squad. He'll never start for us again, because he's old and a bit broken, but he's been such a good servant for the club. It's nice to have him back on the bench to secure his part in invincibility. So, here goes. Don't mess this up, lads. Yes, let's hope Man City stick with Eddie Howe. He's probably taking over for me at Tottenham when we leave at the end of the season. He seems to have done the Premier League rounds. Yes, we're going to put on a show. We've gone attacking and flexible. We very rarely go attacking, but I think for this final game of the season, we need to put on a show. We need to build confidence going into those two massive cup finals that we've got coming up. And we also want to make sure that we really minimise the chances of us messing this up today. So, let's grab an early goal. That's first order of business. Go 1-0 up. We'll proceed with additional goals from there, hopefully. I mean, if this just ends up being a 0-0 draw, or even worse, a really unlikely defeat, I'll be so very sad. But Liam Wells, with just under 5 minutes on the clock, scores his 38th goal of the season to put us 1-0 up. He's now only one goal behind Iribarren again. And all these records are on, everybody. I'm not sure how close we are to 49 games unbeaten as well. It would be absolutely fantastic if it turned out that this was the 50th game in the unbeaten run, but I don't think it is. I don't think we'll break that record. I think we'll depart Tottenham not out with a chance for whoever takes over to go on and break that record. Lucas has just signed a new 4-year contract as assistant manager. Wouldn't it be amazing if he took over from me? He can't pick a player to save his life, but he's at Spurs for the next 4 years, even though I'm moving on, unless he walks out when I do. And I was going somewhere with that, and I've been distracted by the fact that we almost conceded a goal, but we didn't, and it's Iribarren, and it's 2-0. And yay! It looks like invincibility is going to be a thing that happens. This slightly puts a spanner in the works of my T-shirt plans, because I now don't know which T-shirt I want to do. I had two plans originally. One was the Expedition of Gold 7 Trophies T-shirt, which I decided I can release even if we don't win the two finals, because we have won all 7 of those trophies, even if we don't end up doing it in the same season. But now I quite like the feel of an Invincibles T-shirt with this team on it in some way, whether it's just a screenshot of the formation with them all set up, or some more fancy, pretty T-shirty way to represent these 11 players. And it pretty much is 11 players, because there's been very little in the way of rotation. It's very clear who our best players are. I guess the only area where there might be a little bit of question is in midfield, but I would say that midfield 3, that's probably the one. Wagner will be a little bit sad to miss out on being part of the 3 on the T-shirt, but I would go so far as to say this 11 players we've got on the pitch right now, they're the 11. They're the team. They are the Invincibles. Everyone else around the squad has been assistant to the Invincibles. But it's these 11 players who've made it possible. And I would say out of these 11, we've got 4 or 5 of the best players in the world, which is one of the reasons why we've won so many football matches, because good players mean football match wins, I think. Certainly, that's the basis I've been working off of. Iribarren, 2 L's for 4-0. Does that bring him level with Iribarren now? So that's his hat-trick, but Iribarren scored as well. He was 2 goals ahead. I know my maths isn't always on point on this channel, but I'm pretty sure that leaves them both level on 40 goals each going into the 2 finals. And Liam Wells is rather happy. He's doing the hand-lick mouth-spit thing that we had yesterday. And Bournemouth are playing very defensively. You can't see because it's behind me. They're basically playing a flat-back 9, and we're still absolutely tearing them apart. Although they've got a chance to break on us a little bit here. Obviously, it's going to be too little too late, because we are rampant. We've created 3 clear-cut chances and scored 4 goals. Only 6 shots on target for those 4 goals as well. So it just shows how good Wells and Iribarren are, that they don't really need a lot of chances. What's this nonsense? Bournemouth have decided they're going to score a goal, have they? We'll see about that. I need to start. I might just step over there and start getting changed into my suit, because I need to start recording the next episode straight after this one. Got to get suited up. I don't know if I've got a tie. I might go shirt, no tie. We've been to these finals before. Let's do it Mourinho style. We're not going to be tied down by a tie. I don't feel comfortable wearing a tie. I'm going to look smart but tieless. Nothing to do with the fact that my tie is in the house and I can't be bothered to go and fetch it. Right, let's have Wagner on for Burgess, and We're going to take off Oscar and bring on Michael Vendrig. As everyone's starting to come back to fitness, Piero's sort of drifting away from the bench, and it makes me a little bit sad. I kind of want to have him on the bench for the finals because I want him to accumulate medals. Do you still win medals if you're not in the squad for the final? I'm not entirely sure how it works. We'll bring off... We're not going to take off Ribeiro, actually. We're going to take off Ndai and give Khalid Francis game time because... Is it 10 games you have to play for a medal? Well, I think he's played his 10 now, but we'll give him another little bit of game time just to be sure that he ends up with a Premier League winners medal. Despite the fact he started only one game all season, he's appeared in enough to be deserving of a medal. He's definitely one of the assistants to the Invincibles. And give him another year or two and he'll be first choice right back here. He's going to be better than Ndai eventually. Ndai is getting on a little bit. If we were sticking around at Tottenham, I think that would be something that happened over the course of the next season or two. Francis establishes himself at first choice at right back, and Ndai just drifts off into the sunset. Obviously, priority for whoever comes in new is going to have to be freshening up the midfield a little bit. We are desperately short players in there, as we've seen this season, with James Burgess being virtually ever present in there, despite the fact, really, he's a striker. Vendrig makes it 5. But even with him in there, we've still got Ziyech and Sedman, who are well into their 30s now. Medor's into his 30s, on the transfer list and out of contract at the end of the season, so he'll be moving on. So really, the only world-class, still in his 20s, proper first-choice midfielder we've got is Fiorentini. So probably 2 good central midfielders are needed to really push this team on. Striker-wise, we're fine. Perhaps the time is right to move Michael Vendrig on, bring Reece Douglas into the first team picture as a proper 4th choice, and move Burgess back up front. I'd like Piero to carry on as a backup to Oscar. That would be pretty cool. And defensively, I think we're fine. We've got Slocum coming through as a backup to Igor for in goal, so we can let Diaz go at the end of the season. We're leaving this team in good shape with a trophy cabinet bulging at the seams and only a couple of midfielders needed to make the team even better. I mean, it's already an unbeatable team in the Premier League, at least, because we've just become invincibles. Do we get we get an achievement unlocked for invincible? Does it say invincible? There you go. Liam Wells has expressed his admiration for an unbeaten season. I have never, in all my years playing Football Manager, done an unbeaten season before. It is absolutely ridiculous that we've achieved that. Let's have a look at these records because I want to see what records we've just set. So we have obviously we've won the Premier League. We're the holders. There you go. We're up there. But we've got the record for most points in a season, most wins in a season at 33. Highest scoring game, 6-6. We've also got most games won in a row, which we're 16 not out on that. So whoever takes over as the new manager could pick up where we've left off there. Arsenal are still on most games without losing at 49. So we're currently on 46. So if the new man manages to do 4 games unbeaten to start the season, Tottenham break that record as well. Iribarren's got the record for most goals in a match, scoring 6 against Stoke. I don't even remember. Oh, that was for Liverpool. That's why I don't remember him doing it. Yeah. How's Callum Rooney getting on? We look at him from time to time. He's at Wickham now, 26 years old. Bless his cotton socks. So, that is the last time you'll see Tottenham play in the league. Iribarren was on his tail in the end there, despite missing so much of the season. Finished as best player again. Iribarren and Wells both up there for assists. Oscar, 3rd on the top scorers list. It's been an acceptable season. But we still have 2 jobs left to do, and we're going to be doing them at 9 o'clock this evening. Make sure you come back for the second part of today's double upload for the FA Cup final and the Champions League final. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.